everyone, Eloise here today for Lawn Fawn, and for today's video I'm going to be using the Finley's ABCs dies to create a custom sentiment, along with using the Sweet Treats stamp set as the sort of main focus for my card today. So to begin, I'm going to go ahead and stamp out all of my images that I need. I'm basically just going to be using the little like ice cream image because my punny custom sentiment is going to go along with that. So I'm going to be doing a rainbow colouring of these little ice creams in the little pot, and so I'm going to be colouring up I think 7 of those, and then I'm also going to be stamping a smiley face on one of them, and also the arms and legs that are included in the set, just to have one of them with arms and legs and a smiley face. I just thought that would be super cute and fun to do. So I'm going to be using my Copic markers to colour in all of my images today. It's just fast and easy, and they're my favourite way to colour, so that's what I'm using. So to begin, I'm colouring in one with hot pink markers, so I'm using RV09 as my darkest, going in with RV25 to blend that out, and then using RV13 to blend that all together. Then I'm moving on to my red ice cream, and I'm just assuming that you can get every different colour of ice cream because of different flavours and things. So that's why I'm doing rainbow ice cream, plus it looks more inviting on my card, I think, if I colour in things with rainbow colours. So that's sort of what I'm going for. So once I've coloured in the red ice cream, I'm colouring in the orange. So I'm going in with YR18 at first and just going in where I think the darkest areas would be. Then I'm going in with YR12 to blend that out a little, and then going in with Y32 to blend that all together. And I really love these 3 colours to make this orangey ice cream together. I think it's really fun. Next up, I'm using some yellows to colour in the yellow ice cream. So I just went in with Y35, Y13 and Y11. Then I'm colouring in a green ice cream, and this is probably the weirdest colour ice cream I would say, but maybe it's like, I don't know, a mint or a spearmint sort of ice cream flavour, I don't know. But anyway, I coloured in one green. Then I'm using some teal to colour in the next ice cream. So I'm using BG49, then going in with BG23 and finishing off with BG11, and this is a favourite trio of mine for like sort of like a teal aqua colour. And then for the last colour of ice cream, I'm going in with some V markers. So I'm first going in with V17, then going in with V15 and finishing off with V01 to blend that all together. And then I'm colouring in the little like pots or the cups that are the ice cream is in. So I decided to colour in them grey just for a neutral colour, since I'm going to be, I had a lot of colour going on, so I didn't want to colour them in like a bright colour, so I went for grey. So basically I'm just using W3 as my darkest, then W1 and W00 for my lighter shade, and then I just use some RV10 for the little cheeks for the ice cream with the face on it. Then I just use the Coordinating dies to cut all of those ice creams out and the little arms and legs image, and then I can work on the background for my card. So I'm going to go really simple for this. I'm first starting off with a piece of Distress watercolour cardstock piece from Tim Holtz, and I just cut that down with my trimmer to 4 inches wide by 5¼ inches tall, I believe. And then I'm just using some 2-inch post-it tape to create a hill. You can use a die to create a hill and then just use like a piece of paper. I just prefer to do it by hand because it's such a simple shape, and I'm not really going to see this line in the end, so it doesn't have to be perfect, hence why I decided just to use my scissors. Then I've just placed that over the bottom half of my watercolour cardstock, and I'm going to blend some Tumbled Glass and some Salty Ocean Distress ink onto this piece. So I've masked off the bottom half of the cardstock and I'm blending onto the top half. I'm just sort of fading up into white. I do end up extending this a little bit later, just because I felt like the ice creams covered up too much of the layout and the background, but basically that's all I did for that. And then I covered up the top half of the piece of cardstock just using the negative piece of that mask that I created earlier, and I'm just going in with some antique linen and gathered twigs Distress ink just to give a little bit of brown for the floor. As I said before, I use grey for like the little cups or pots of the ice cream, so I didn't want to use grey for the floor, so I decided just to bring in a few light brown colours to ink blend that on with. And then to finish off, I'm just going to splatter some water on there using my little Distress Sprayer nozzle piece, and that's just to give a little bit of interest to the background. And I didn't really want this to be like an outdoor scene or anything like that. I don't know really what I was thinking for this background, but I just felt like those colours were obviously colours I didn't really use with my ice creams. So that's sort of why I created the background like I did. So then I just placed on all of my ice creams onto my background, and I really like how those look. And then I'm using the Finley's ABCs to cut my custom sentiment. So I'm going to have a sentiment that says "You're legendary," like as in dairy of ice cream. I just thought that was super cute. I actually saw it on a sticker last year, so I've wanted to create this card for a while with this sentiment, but when I saw this Sweet Treats stamp set, I just thought it was perfect for it, since I had a little ice cream, and ice cream's generally made with dairy, and yeah, I just thought it was super cute. So basically I cut those out of some watercolor cardstock and then ink blended a little bit of spun sugar onto the bottoms of each of the letters, and I basically just did that for a little bit of interest. I just didn't really want them to be like stark white on this background, since there wasn't much colour on the background, and I felt like having a little bit of light pink on the bottom really made them stand out a little bit. So I'm just adding foam tape onto all of the backs of the letters and then overlapping them to adhere them onto the bottom of my panel. And I just really love how like whimsical and they're not straight, and I just think that looks really fun. So I just went ahead and adhered those down to the bottom of my cardstock panel. Then I'm adhering down my ice cream, so I basically just used flat adhesive for all of my ice creams except for the yellow one that's the one in the middle. I popped him up on some foam tape, and that's also the one that had arms and legs and things. Just because there was 7 ice creams, I felt like one needed to be in the middle popped up, so that's what I decided to do. So I just went ahead and adhered him down. Then I used the Sweet Treats stamp set once again to white heat emboss "You're" onto a strip of black cardstock, just using some white embossing powder from Lawn Fawn as well. And that basically finishes up the whole design of the card. To completely finish it off though, I just made a card base out of some Neenah Solar White cardstock, and I just cut that to 5.5 inches tall by 8.5 inches wide, and then I just scored that at 4.25 and made my card base. So I just went ahead and added some post-it tape on the inside of the card so I wouldn't get any ink blending on there. And I'm just blending on some spun sugar and some picked raspberry distress ink for the sort of bottom of this panel. I sort of want it to appear ombre when I adhere my panel directly over top. So that's sort of what I was going for, since I really do want this to be a Valentine's Day card. Obviously with a sentiment like this, it can be for almost any occasion. Yeah, I think it can be used for, you know, almost anything, but I really wanted there to be some more pops of pink, just to sort of show more so that it is a Valentine's Day card, but obviously you can use whatever colour you like. So that finishes up my card for today. I hope you were inspired to make a custom sentiment card. I always think they're really fun to do, and I will catch you all next time. Thanks so much for watching.